Advocates say street vendors are among the most vulnerable to the Trump administration's immigration policies. And now they are calling on the city council to help protect them. Elle McLogan has covered the illegal street vendor crackdown in Queens and has the story.
On a day like this, Lola is usually selling hats along the sidewalk in Corona. But today, she's too afraid.
If something happens to me, what will happen to my kids? Where will my kids go?
Concerned about ICE, she asked us to conceal her identity. She arrived in this country with her family 4 years ago, starting work as a street vendor to make ends meet, as she had done back in Ecuador.
I'm grateful to God that when we arrived, we came together, we came whole, and we came safe.
Many are immigrants in a once thriving community of street vendors in Queens. Now, they tell us, those both documented and undocumented are experiencing police crackdowns and increased threat of deportation under the Trump administration, all while they plead with the city for better access to vending licenses to do their work.
When people ask, what can be done? What can New Yorkers do to protect immigrant communities? Fact is, there are laws in front of city council right now.
Advocates say the street vendor reform package would expand access and protections for vendors in New York City, formalizing their stalls as small businesses and decreasing their risk of being detained or deported. Some Queens locals we spoke with condemn unlicensed vending as a public nuisance lacking health and safety oversight.
People think, why don't they just go get a license? And the reality is, it's the city that has put the cap in place and has created this shadow economy.
We pressed the city council for a timeline for the street vendor reform package. A spokesperson replied, quote, "These bills are going through the legislative process, which is deliberative and allows for thorough public engagement and input." Lola wishes for safety for her children as she works toward her goal.
My dream is to be able to own a home.
In Queens, Elle McLogan, CBS News, New York.
Elle lives in Queens and covers the borough for us. If you have a story idea, you can contact her by scanning the QR code on your screen. You may see your story on our air.